The legionaries' most dangerous opponent was the Parthians of Persia. The Picts made frequent raids into the Roman province of Britannia. In North Africa, the Berbers attacked the Romans again and again. Most feared of all were the Germanic tribes, who were always on the point of rebellion. They lived in mist and cold, in seemingly endless forests. To the Romans, it was nothing but wilderness. There were no towns. There was nothing the Romans recognized as civilization or law and order. It was a world entirely different from Rome, a world that filled the Romans with fear. But more dangerous than all the wild men of the north was a single Roman officer, Arminius. Arminius had been taken from his Germanic tribe as a child and raised as a Roman. He spoke Latin and was well versed in Roman weaponry and tactics. He returned home as a Roman officer in command of Germanic auxiliaries. But Arminius never felt that he truly belonged to Rome. So he swapped sides. In secret, Arminius rallied the Germanic tribes. Perhaps he hoped to rule a united Germania as king. What is certain is that he planned a decisive blow against Roman colonization of his country.
Ich habe an ihrer Seite in Pannonien gekämpft. Und ihre Legionen rücken geordnet in Reih und Glied mit solcher Wucht vor, dass wir bei einem offenen Angriff untergehen würden.
Dann werden wir sie eben auf dem Marsch angreifen. Ihr Tross zieht sich träge wie ein Lindwurm meilenweit durch die Ebene.
Aber Varus zieht mit 3 Legionen. Das sind fast 20.000 Mann! Wir sind ihnen unterlegen. Wir können sie nicht überall gleichzeitig angreifen. Völlig aussichtslos. Doch sie fürchten unseren Wald.
In 9 AD, Arminius and his allies lured the Romans into a well-laid ambush. 3 full legions walked into the trap, and the Germans sounded the signal to attack. In the Battle of the Teutoburg Forest, all 3 Roman legions were wiped out. It was one of the worst defeats that Rome ever suffered. Arminius is remembered to this day as the liberator of Germania from the Roman yoke. In the 19th century, a colossal statue was erected in his honor, the Hermann Monument. After this disaster, the Romans withdrew from all of Germania east of the Rhine. They made the river the new imperial border. To separate themselves from the barbarians, they built the Limes Germanicus, the largest fortification of its day, stretching 550 kilometers through present-day Germany. The Battle of the Teutoburg Forest was one of the most momentous of ancient times. It meant that the host of Germanic tribes east of the Rhine could live in freedom, an example of independence that Rome had always been reluctant to tolerate.
À la longue und im Endeffekt war der Rhein eine klare und starke Grenze, nicht nur die Militärgrenze Roms, sondern auch eine starke kulturelle Grenze. Das kann man ja noch heute erkennen, zum Beispiel dadurch, dass die Franzosen Französisch sprechen, also eine romanische Sprache. Aber auch in Deutschland sieht man das. Hier in Trier zum Beispiel, wo es markante, tolle Überreste aus römischer Zeit gibt. Und die Rheinländer sind ja insgesamt sehr stolz darauf, dass sie die römische Zivilisation genossen haben. Und die Römer hätten auch gesagt, naja, bei uns ist alles zivilisiert und da drüben auf der anderen Seite, da ist das Barbarikum. Oder aber auch, das hätten die Germanen gesagt, die Germania libera, das freie Germanien.
The tribes east of the Rhine and the Limes were free. But their freedom came at a price. It meant continuing to live in simple huts in small, scattered villages. It was a life without the advantages of civilization, and certainly without luxuries. But millions of other people who had initially resisted the Romans became reconciled to the empire for the advantages it brought them. Instead of getting bogged down on muddy tracks, they could travel easily on paved roads. People who had lived in wooden huts moved into stone houses. Some even had underfloor heating. In the cold north, it made life a lot easier. For many, Roman rule meant the coming of the good life. And the Romans laid on entertainment in large amphitheatres.